Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela. I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady and welcome back to today's Whip, Spits and Chat. Come on, let's see what I got for you this week. Okay, so here in the UK, we seem to be having a bit of a heat wave. So, wet hair day. Don't see the point in getting the hairdryer out to dry this mop when it will be dry in about 20 minutes. So, keep an eye on it. It'll probably be dry before the end of this video. Right, so what have I got for you this week? Why don't we start off with the video roundup? There's not too many there. Now, I haven't done a Whip, Spits and Chat for 2 weeks. So hopefully there's some content. Of course there is. Right, okay, I'm just setting it up so I can just cheekily read it straight off of YouTube. Right, there we go. Okay, so let's go back to the Whip, Spits and Chat. Right, okay. So the first video out a fortnight ago was a new pattern release over on Ravelry. Now this one is for the cheeky elephant, and within that there is 2 patterns. You've got the Snuggly, which is the smaller one, and then you've got the information on how to upsize your project to make it into a rucksack. The link for that will be in the I button up here. That's the pattern. And there's also a link in the description box down below. Right, the next video up was Bad Poppy yarn order from the Knitting Network. Well, I had no choice, I had to do this. I was making a baby blanket and ran out of the colours needed. I thought I had 100-gram versions of it up here, and it turns out I didn't. I'd shown my friend my stash of minis and said, pick the colours, so she did. The only colours I didn't have up here, but it doesn't matter. I put the order in, it arrived, there was an issue. So if you want to know what the issue was and of course see if it got fixed, click on the I button up here at the end of this video and it will take you through. Alright, the next video came out on the 15th. Now that was Poppy's Gone Insane Knitting. Yes, I'd picked up knitting needles because the repetitive strain injury in my wrist meant that I was sitting there rocking. I couldn't crochet the same amount as normal, let alone the same speed as normal. I was doing sort of 10 minutes on and 10 to 20 minutes off of crocheting. So I was just getting up to speed and I'd have to stop. So the blanket that I've mentioned a moment ago, I'll tell you about in a little bit. Did I manage to finish it, or did I, or didn't I? Okay, but anyway, let's get back to the videos. The next video up is a tutorial. We haven't had one of them on the channel for a while. It is the granny hexagon blanket dress, and it is a tutorial number 35. Now I've put this out in parts because I couldn't break it, get it any smaller. Okay, so I added a little bit and then put it out as a set. So tutorial number 1 is now on the channel. Tutorial number 2 is coming out this week. They're all made, the dress is finished, so you know you're not going to have to wait for me to finish it with a dodgy hand. Okay, now this is the dress in question. The tutorial shows you all you need to know as to how to make the dress. There is a written pattern in the I button that also shows you how to not only make the dress but how to turn it into a top as well. Now the top is made with a DK weight yarn, so it is going to be lighter, but the hexagons are the same size. I've done that purposely to show you that if you wanted to make the dress in a different yarn, meaning a DK, you could. And the information on how to chop and change is in the written pattern, and I believe I've actually said it on the video as well. Okay, and then the last video that went out this week, I believe, is a Yarn Deals UK. Now, I cheekily sat here and screen recorded it. It's the shops I took you to were the Works, the Range and Dun Elm. Now, I did the same thing about 2 years ago, but I actually went into the stores. And that video is still getting hits, although I've put the date on it. So if people look at it, they're like, oh, that's a few years old. Prices will be wrong. And the yarn might not exist in the store anymore. But so my thought was, if I did another one where I showed you what there was online, you may like watching that. And that may pick up over time. At the moment, I've had one comment on it. Thank you, honey. And it's had about 31 views. So it's not a very popular video yet. But the other one didn't take off for about a year. And that's not got that many in, but it's got more than this one at the moment. Right, but anyway, that is the end of the video update. Now it's time for a Ravelry update. I'm on an update mission today, aren't I? Okay, so the updates are as follows. I have been typing up and putting up videos as quickly as my hands will allow me. And I really should set this up before I start talking about it. Right, okay, so I've put up, where are we going? Oh, okay, I need to put up another one. I think I finished. Right, anyway, the most recent patterns up are this 6. Okay, we had the Winter Harvest hat, fingerless gloves and cowl. Now they're on the site separately because the site makes me put them up separately, but if you purchased all of them in a bundle of 3, you will get a discount. Okay, I will write that on screen because I can't remember what it was. I think it's £10 for the 3. Okay, next up, oh, let's bring you 2 down. Next up, as it shows, is the Cheeky Monkey. He's a pattern. Look at that cute face. Sorry. Yeah, so the monkey backpack is up as well. Let's put you back. We also have the Ellie, and as I said with the Ellie, there's details on how to turn the Snuggly into a rucksack. So Ellie's up, so let's just bring Snuggly down. There's Snuggly, soft body, and the head is made all in one piece with the nose, and then we add on the ears, add on the cheeky mouth, and of course the eyes, and add a little bit of shaping. So it's quite a this is quite a nice one for a newborn. Okay, let's try and get you to sit up there nicely. And just flop. Okay. Yes, I've been a bit crazy. Yes, there's another Aragorumi style pattern. Now, this one is the Piglet backpack. And again, the pattern for this one is on Ravelry. Look at the cheeky face. But let's put you up there too. Right. Now onto the clothing. The pattern here, this one in the corner. This is the Summertime Beach cover up. My one comes to just past my thighs. For me personally, it's ideal for wearing down the beach over my swimmers. It is a labour of love pattern, but once you get into it, you will whiz along. Just remember to take breaks. I've got to say it now, haven't I? Take breaks. Right, so the Summertime at Beach Cover Up pattern is also available over on Ravelry. How to describe it? There is 3 different motifs in the pattern, and it is a join as you go. So you make up the first motif in full, and then your second motif you join at certain parts. It's all explained in the pattern. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because I'll be here for hours. Right, and the last pattern that's up at the moment is, of course, the Granny Hexagon blanket. Now that is made in the Yarn Inspirations Red Heart, that Granny Square yarn, but you don't have to use that one, as the top shows. Now another one that will be going up shortly is this one here. Now it doesn't look like much, it just looks like a panel, but once it's put on, it's a really nice V-neck top. Okay, there we go. And I believe I'm going to call it Diamonds and Pearls, although there's no diamonds in it, so I don't know why I decided to call it Diamonds and Pearls. But that is going to be the next one that will be coming at some point this week. I'm not going to bother putting it up for now. And as for the knitted pattern, I'm still trying to suss out what I did there. New terms and techniques are completely and utterly confusing me. Okay, so that is the end of the Ravelry update. Whew. I can't believe I nearly forgot the surprise live that was on the 12th of this month. Again, that will probably be linked in the description box and down below, or just click on live and you'll come across it. But thank you ever so much to the girls that did turn up on that one. It was a surprise. There was no pre-warning, so it was just a case of if the pop-up arrived, you got to see me sort of scenario, and it was during the day, so it wasn't the best time for my UK girls. Aussies, I think it was still evening for you, but the rest, everybody else, it was sort of an awkward time. But thank you ever so much to those that did come in. On that live, I did actually show you the hand-dyed yarn that I've got on my top shelf that I've created. Now, because we're due this heat wave, I'm actually tempted this afternoon to actually start dyeing some yarn again, and that's if I can get the family out of the house and back in time, because we've got plans today. But my plan is to hopefully dye some yarn today, which means tomorrow will be drying day, and I can just hang it outside on my racks, and it will be dry in no time. I can't wait. So fingers crossed I managed to get that done. And then that means I can show you what I was up to later on, like this coming week maybe, or the week after, depends on how long it takes for me to edit. And of course work out what colours I fancy using, so stick me some ideas in the description box down below if you're quick enough, okay? And I will keep an eye out. And if not, if you're not quick enough, don't worry about it. I might nick them for next time, or just carry on going. I've got quite a bit of yarn here to dye up, and I need to clear space. So if I'm gonna do them probably in batches of 6 to 8, depending on the weight, because I've got more chance of selling a larger batch for, say, a jumper or something, than what I have one skein here and one skein there. But we never know. It'll be a case of first come, first dibs, and a UK only sales. I'm sorry to say, postage is just stupid. Who in their right mind would pay £18 for a 100-gram package to be delivered elsewhere? Royal Mail need to sort their prices out. They really do. Alright, so I have one completed item this week. I can't believe it. And it's crochet. Now, I did say to you that I was making a baby blanket, and of course that's why I had to order that extra yarn. Now, I've finally finished it. It's for the new squidgy baby. At some point I may get to say hello to him, but he lives quite a distance away from us. And he is still really, really fresh. I think he's under a week old. Fresh. That's proper fresh. Mum needs to nibble his toesies for me. She knows what I mean. It's not proper biting. You just nuzzle your nose on them and see if you can make them giggle. It doesn't really work when they're that young, but their facial expressions are hilarious. Right, so the baby blanket has already gone to the baby. So I've got my notes, and I've just realised I didn't take final measurements, but okay, I can give you most of the details now. This was made in a DK weight yarn, and it was all Signet Everyday DK minis, unless it was the white. The white was the standard 100 grammars. It took 425 grams of yarn to make, but then that's because it's quite a dense, well, not dense, but a thicker stitch than what I would normally have done. The main square stitch, actually, let's move over this way. There we go. And then I'm going to pop a picture up now. There we go. It's pointless talking about it if you can't see it. Right. So the stitch used is the buffalo check / a plaid stitch. There's actually a tutorial on the channel in the Stitch a Week playlist, and it's number 24. So Stitch a Week number 24, buffalo check / plaid stitch. You're working 3 colours, 1 each row, and it is actually, once you get into it, quite a nice simple one. It's double crochets and chains. It's just where you're putting those double crochets. Okay, and then for the wording of it, where have I gone? I've lost me train of thought. For the wording, I have used mosaic crochet. And now this is the bit that threw me the most, because I was like, right, I've mapped it out, I've drawn it out on graph paper, and let's get going. I mapped the bee up. Because you're working from, I'm working from the corner of the B to the end of the J per line. So I'm working backwards. And I mucked the bee up, so I had to strip it back. But I had only mucked it up as to the bottom left hand corner section, right? So I was like, right, okay, I'll fix that. And then I mucked the yarn up and I got the shape wrong, so I fixed that. And of course I'm working the bases of all, and in the end I gave up doing the bases of them all. No, I didn't. I was well behaved. I got it all done, and I hadn't quite got to the end of the top of the J when I realised I'd mucked up the A, and I wanted to square it where the line comes down on the A. I had tried to do the A at an angle. It looked like dog's toffee, it really did. So I ended up stripping it back to this each row. I had to sit there and unpick the flipping knot and strip it all the way back to the C, then work the A and the J again. I finally got it done. Now the back of that section, I've actually done a cheeky thing, whereas every time I worked into the back loop with the single crochet, I actually dropped my hook down and picked up the back loop from any missing single crochets. It sounds a bit strange, but if you're doing it, hopefully you'll understand it. And I was picking up that loop as well, and then pulling my yarn through and completing the single crochet, keeping it to the same height it's meant to be. By doing that, it gets rid of those wibbly wobbly lines where a little one could catch their fingers. So I'd done that all the way along on this section, and then I was like, right, let's put a little border on it to make it easier to join it. So I did that, because I'd actually worked the base of this directly onto the blanket. So then I start working up the sides of the blanket, trying to join it so that you can't see anything. It did not work. I was having a right mare of a time. I was getting really irate with it. Well, I'd done both sides. I tried 2 different techniques to join. I didn't like either of them, so I ripped them back. And I thought, right, well, there's no cheating. I can't just cheat and make the side panels and then attach it and then go round. So instead, I just went backwards and forwards the entire length of the blanket until I reached the top of the Jacob section. That's when I joined it. And then it carried on going with the pattern. I showed my friend and I said to her, look, I'm having a moment, but I will stitch these down. And in my head, I'm thinking, they're a little bit wobbly. It might not look so good. Can I get away with saying, well, if baby loses its gloves, it can stick its hands in there? And she just went, don't bother. It's like a blanket and a muff all in one. A muff, for anybody outside of the UK. If you watch Bridgerton, in the latest season, the brunette, I can't think of her name, she, during the summer, had a thing wrapped around her hand. It turned out the actress had broken her arm. Insider knowledge there. She was wearing this cute thing wrapped around her hand. Now that is called a muff, and normally we used to use them in winter to keep our hands warm. It was that simple. It was a round piece of material, normally fur lined, and you'd stick your hands in and just walk around with it like that, keeping your hands warm instead of having gloves on. So, of course, my friend said, no, leave it. And I'm like, are you sure? And she went, yeah, he can stick his hands in there when he's a bit older. I'm like, right, okay, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. You're the customer. She looked at me and went, yeah, I'm the customer. Do as I say. And I was like, phew. So off she went again, and I just had to finish the top half of the pattern and then go round doing the border. Now the border, I cheekily did half double crochets in place of single crochets and double crochets. Okay, but instead of doing 3 stitches of each, I only did 2 because it was easier to work out where to put them without getting confused, because I'd overloaded it the first time I tried to do it with 3. So I thought, keep it simple. Or KISS, as we call it in this house. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. And ended up just doing the 2 so that I could easily see that it was 2 stitches per double crochet. Running up the side made life so much easier. So that was the first round. Then the second round, I reversed it. So if it was a half double, I put in a double. And if it was a double, I put in a single. Finish that round off, and then I went round again with another round of single, just to straighten the edge. Honestly, this picture is a bit wibbly wobbly, but that's just because it's not been washed. It's not had anything done to it. That's how it looked when it was finished. Now, it was so close to the wire with this one. I finished it Friday morning at like 10 o'clock, and they were leaving at 11:30 and to go and see baby. So rather than putting it through the wash and it arriving wet, she'd said, don't worry, mum will wash it with the detergent that they prefer, which is what I do prefer them to do, or if I haven't got the detergent in, which I didn't have. And so mum's are going to be washing it and doing the final check over for me. She knows what I'm like, and I'm like, you remember, if you see any ends, tell me where they are, and I'll tell you if you have to sew them in or cut them off. And she'll do that. She's absolutely brilliant. So that was made and packed, and the packing ended up looking like this. Mum was quite chuffed because she thought she was going to have to go and buy a decorative bag or a box or something. But it was decorated like this on the outside, and then the inside was papered with a lovely blue bow running around it. I didn't take photos of the inside. You're lucky I'm lucky I got these photos. I really am. Now for the bestest part of this video. It is your photographs. Now, nobody sent me hexagon pictures yet. If that's even what the name of the shape is. But nobody sent me the shapes for the dress. Are any of you actually making it? I don't know, it's a bit hot here in the UK. How are you doing everywhere else? And it is a really lovely late autumn, early winter dress. It will keep you snugly warm. But and as I said, no one's sent me pictures for that. That's fine. Fingers crossed for next week or the week after. Okay, but I have got some beautiful pictures now coming from my gorgeous tester. Nobody is nicking her. Do you understand me? She's mine. Mine, I tell you, mine. But it's our cheeky Have a Go Jo, our Joanne. Now, Joanne has made her version of this top. Now, she said to me, can I change it up a little bit? Because it's for my daughter. She's a lot younger. She would prefer it shorter on the stomach. Would you mind? And I said, no, tell me what you want. And I'll work on the adjustments, tell you what I think will work, and then you'll have to test them out for me. And she was like, yeah, not a problem. So she's sat there and she's made all the individuals, and she's worked the pattern in the round rather than working it as a flat panel. And the details for her alterations are also on the written pattern. Then, of course, she's made all the rest of it. We've worked out the neck, and this is her daughter wearing it. It's not been stretched. It's not been anything special. It's literally just been finished, and the daughter's nicked it. Bonus! No extra work, AJ. So, as I said, here's the photographs. Thank you ever so much, Jo, for testing this pattern. Absolutely love the amendments that you have made, or we've made, but you did them. And thank you for working alongside me as a labour of love on this pattern. I'm giving her a rest, everyone. She's got a couple of weeks off, and then I'm going to bug her and see if she wants to do another pattern. She's going to hide now. Now she's had warning, she's going to hide. I'm in trouble. And the next pattern up is from our cheeky Blue Heart Crochet. Now, Blue was also a tester for me. She tested the cheeky Ellie pattern. Okay, now I hadn't shown you these because me and Blue have got a plan of action coming up soon, so keep an eye out on both channels. But I'm going to be showing you her pictures now because I can't hold off any longer. Her Ellie's just too cute. Too cute, I tell you. Yeah, she is. Oh, that way then. How cute. Oh, that was my wrist. Hopefully you didn't hear it. Okay, so our beautiful Blue helped me out tremendously with this pattern. She had fun. She explained where I'd written things that didn't quite make sense to her and possibly to everybody else. So chopped and changed. The pattern is still the same as my one. It's just the way that it was worded that needed fixed. So thank you ever so much, Blue, for helping me out with that one. And everyone in the comments down below, tell Blue and of course our cheeky Jo what you think of their items. It's not just me that likes the praise. And remember, if you have made any of the patterns on this channel, or you've purchased any of the written patterns and made the item, send me photos. The only thing I do say is please don't add half-dressed children in your images because I won't show them. It's that simple. I don't show children normally unless it's just a head with a hat on. I'll show that, but I don't show the rest of a child because I don't think it's very safe, and that's my personal view. But if you've made any of the items on this channel, send me pictures and I'll show off your work because that's the reason I do this. I love to see your stuff. It's nearly dry. I've done the editing and now on to the last little section. Okay, so what's up this week? We have got video number 2 for the Hexie dress coming out Monday. So hopefully you've got those hexagons, the first set of hexagons I sent you off to do, done. Have you done your homework? If not, don't worry, got plenty of time to catch up. Right, so that video is out on Monday. Hopefully I will have something else for you during the week, and I will attempt to live again this week. So keep an eye out. There will be a bit of a warning, but it may not be an entire day because I have to fit it around hubby, who we don't know what days he's going into his main office, and I can't risk you guys overhearing his work calls. You wouldn't want to anyway. There's lots of rude words. That's one of the reasons. But fingers crossed we can get a live out again this week. I'm going to head off now because I've got to drag the family a kicking and screaming down to a special market in one of the villages close to where I live. It's a place called Tewkesbury. Today they have a market, and it only comes once every 4 years, but 4 years, duh. It's 4 times a year. Try that again. All right, so yeah, 4 times a year, and it's all the local creators that get together. So we have food stalls and other stalls. It's where I actually first met Craig from, oh, what's the name of the pins? Eweniverse, basically the chap who does the sheep pins that are all puntastic. That's where I first met him before I started the channel. There will be a link in the description box down below to a video I made years ago with his stuff if you fancy having a quick look. But that's where I first met him. There's toffee stalls and food stalls and other handcrafted items. So, but there we go. So that's where I'm off to today. So I better get my tush in gear. So I'm going to head off now. I will see you all really, really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody. Hello, me back again. Quick update. Completely forgot to tell you, the tablet's alive. So I was telling you about it on the live last week that I dropped my tablet in the bath. Yeah, I'm not taking my tablet in the bathroom no more. Not to watch anybody's videos like I've been doing. I'm not risking that again. 72 hours sitting, not able to check any messages. I had to come upstairs and do everything up here. Thankfully everything's on this computer, but yeah, 72 hours, but it works. It takes photos, and I'm hoping that the front camera has now dried out, because I did try to jump onto somebody's live on Instagram and it wouldn't let me flick the camera to forward facing, so it was just the not for like face facing I should say. So the camera was the other way, and it was so foggy. Even if when I turned it around, you couldn't make me out. It looked like somebody had got some oh, what's the stuff called? Some Vicks Vapor Rub or something like that, and just shoved it over the lens. But it's drying out, so I don't care. It's working, and I'm super duper chuffed. So bonus.